Why do you want that beer so bad?
Because he's thirsty, dummy.
Coming to you almost live from deep in the heart, Texas. This is the Drinking Texas podcast with me, Stephanie, and two guys whose glasses are never half empty. That's Chip and Mike. Fellas?
Hey, thank you for that. Hey, this is Chip and Mike with the Drinking Texas podcast. Mike, how you doing today?
Oh, I am doing great today.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. We are joined with Stephanie, the goddess of love, and Mistress Vicky. How are y'all doing today?
Good. Great. Superb.
Yeah, see, you can actually hear Mistress Vicky today. Do you know why?
No, why?
Well, we are doing a get to know you episode.
Wait a minute.
Finally.
There's no guest?
No, we are the guests.
I've always wanted to be the guest.
Well, I mean,
A guest?
a guest. You are a guest today on your own podcast. Mm-hmm. See how that works out?
We're going to talk about me. We're going to talk about me.
We're going to talk about everything and everybody. Well, at this table anyway.
There.
Yeah.
Well, good. That should be a lot of fun. I mean, for us and probably for those listening.
Hopefully they're still listening at this point instead of just going, nope.
Well, if they're still listening, what are we drinking today?
Mike?
Well, we've got a few things to choose from here. I've got a rye whiskey, Yellow Rose rye. Yellow Rose out of Houston, big-time award winner, fantastic rye. If that's not your style, I've got some Angel's Envy. That's a Kentucky bourbon finished in port barrels. It's nice and sweet-ish. And a little change of pace, something we've never done before. Hendrick's Midsummer Solstice Gin. So those are the three contenders. Yep, what do you have?
I am having that Yellow Rose rye whiskey. Like you said, it's out of Houston. It's smooth. It's fantastic. It's really hard to beat. I believe it got a 96 on the rating.
Oh yeah, that Ultimate Spirits Challenge.
Yes.
Which I mean, out of 100, very few bourbons or whiskeys or ryes score that high.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I'm having the same because it is
exactly.
really, really good.
Stephanie?
Well, I wanted to be different, and I went with the Hendrick's, the Midsummer, because summer's my favorite, and it's fruity, and I wanted to be girly.
Oh, that's nice.
No hair on the chest this time.
Yeah. We're going to miss that. Mistress Vicky, what do you got?
I'm going with the Angel's Envy. I don't know anything about whiskey other than I really like the way it tastes.
And that's all you really need to know.
That is the top thing to know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you're drinking or how you're drinking it as long as you like the way it tastes.
Well, that's true, and that's what Drinking Texas is about.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me, how did it start?
How did what start?
Well, how did this Drinking Texas? I'm new, and the last member to kind of join, obviously to join. So how did y'all start?
Well, it's a fun story for us anyway.
All right.
Yeah. Well, do you want to start it or you want me to?
No, you go ahead. All right, I'll do it.
Aww. So cute.
So way before there was a Drinking Texas, there was a Drinking Chip and a Drinking Mike and a Drinking Vicky, and we spent a lot of time drinking. We would go here, we would go there, check out new places, exciting things, fun festivals, just places to be, places to have a good time. And one day we were over in Taylor at the Texas Beer Company, which is a fantastic little craft brewery, and back then, they didn't have food. They had plenty of beer, no food. So Chip and Vicky got a little hungry and said, hey, we need to go eat. So I took them to a little, I call it, dive bar.
It is a dive bar, but that's meant in the most loving way possible because you can pick this bar up. If you looked at any of our previous recordings, you'll know that we love Ed's Place. You can pick that place up and put it in any Midwestern town, small town, and it would fit right in. That's the greatest thing we can say about any bar.
Yeah, it's just this fantastic place. It's been a part of Taylor for over 50 years. So it's a small old building. I don't think the inside's been redecorated since the 70s. The menu's never changed. The ownership has never changed.
That's not true.
Well, the family. It's still
right.
The family. The cold beer has never changed. And so we went over there
to get a hamburger. Sat down at a corner table. Right when you walk in the door, if you look over to the left, it's that first table over against the wall. And the beer tender walked up and said, how can we help you? Told her what we wanted to drink. She walked in the back and ordered hamburgers as well. They were the best hamburgers that I've had in a long time. Man, David does a great job. And she kept coming back. She figured out our drinking patterns immediately and just kept putting beers in front of us and tell her when to stop. And we looked around. Oh, it was fantastic.
That's the way to do it.
We got to we thought immediately we got to tell people about this place. And then we turned around and all the locals, it's a local bar, all the locals were watching Christmas Vacation like they had never seen it before in their life.
Just a crowd at one end of the bar watching the big screen, just laughing in all the right spots, drinking in all the right spots.
Yeah.
It was a sight. It was a moment.
It was a moment. It was a fantastic moment. It was eye-opening, if you will. We decided right then we need to tell people about this place. And people always ask us, Mike left this part out, people always ask us where they should go drink in this area or that area because we hit all these little spots.
We've probably been there.
Yeah. So we had been telling people, and we thought, well, we need to reach out and tell more people. So we decided to do a YouTube show, Instagram and Facebook. The original idea was to be called The Drinker, and then have somebody sitting at the bar with their hand like the thinker, but with a beer in their hand. And then we decided Drinking Texas actually sounds a lot better.
It's got a bit of a ring to it.
It does. At least we think so. So we went with Drinking Texas and started off doing YouTube shows, Instagram and Facebook, doing interviews for about 30 minutes. We did that for a year. We hit and traveled around meeting new people. Our slogan is making friends one beer at a time. And we made a lot of friends over that initial year. And then year 2 started.
So the first year, mostly what we were doing, we were kind of trying to fashion it like a TV show. We watched DayTripper, love Chet, love his show. Well, we could do something like that just for drinking. And so we were writing scripts and doing interviews and kind of doing a 25-minute show. And it was fun and it was nice, but when year 2 started, we thought, we'd hit a lot more places if we cut it down. We started doing 2-minute, 5-minute, 8-minute pieces.
Okay.
Features, if you will.
Yeah, features. And so we kind of, we dropped the scripts. We still interview people, but we will basically, like I think Vicky says, improv. We have an idea what we want to say, run the camera, and we'll go.
You've been witness to a couple of them out at Cara, which unfortunately is down. We love that place. It was great. I hate to hear that they're gone now. Also at Bathtub Gins up in Fort Worth, which that episode might come out about the same time as this podcast.
That was a great find.
Oh, wasn't it?
It was
my
such
gosh.
a great find.
If it's not out yet, it's right across the street from Martin House Brewery in Fort Worth. It is also a dive bar. God, it's great though. Oh my gosh, it's wonderful.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But we can go to a place, we can go to a city and hit 3 breweries, 3 bars, 3 whatever, a couple of distilleries, and do a couple of features in a day, unless Mike's drinking Day Wrecker.
Right, that's once, and it's Louisiana. The rules are different. The rules are different over
The rules are, oh my gosh.
And he wasn't driving, so it was okay.
Yeah. So, quick story on that. We're fading off topic, but this is hilarious. We're in Louisiana at our friend's Flying Heart. We've been drinking all day. And
this was one of those days Chips was talking about. We visited a Great Raft Brewery. We did an episode there. We drank there. We hit a Red River, drank there. Did a little episode there.
oh, by the way, we started off at
Blind Tiger.
the Blind Tiger.
That was breakfast. That way we weren't even working then.
That was a trash can punch.
Well, 2 mason jars.
Yeah.
So by the time we got to Flying Heart, I was in great shape.
Until Ben, who is fantastic, great brewer, he decided to make this horrible concoction called the Day Wrecker, which is a Pilsner, tastes like a Pilsner. It's smooth, it's light, it's 10% alcohol. So you can drink them, at least a couple of them, really quick, and they're refreshing, and then your day is done.
And I'm a huge Pilsner fan. I mean, that's my go-to. What's your favorite Pilsner? Don't you like? I do.
Pilsner.
And then I just get the granddaddy of Pilsners.
We asked Ben, why in the world would you do that? And he said, because I can.
And that's a great answer
Oh, it is.
from the brewmaster himself.
Oh yeah. And he just laughed about it. So we were in the actual brewery portion of the brew pub, and we start off, hey, this is Chip and Mike with Drinking Texas. We're at Flying Heart Brewery in Bossier City, Shreveport. Look at Mike, and he just starts laughing. It's like, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
For the first time, he had no words.
Yeah. 30 minutes later, Mike has 1.5 lines. We get it done. Ben loves it.
like a champ.
Yeah, Ben loves it.
After 10
And
days.
we get out of there, and it was great. But that's the type of day we're talking about. We go around. We can do these 3 to 5 to 8 minute features now. And we decided that we wanted to do a podcast because of all the great people that we've met over this 1.5 year journey. We want other people to meet them because the drinking world, the beer, the distilleries, the dive bars, and in between the musicians involved in them. They're such wonderful people. God, they're so great. And not enough people get to meet them, know the backstory, know how they got going to where they're going, and we think they should.
Yeah, I think
as
you get to meet people, I mean, because maybe you have a favorite band or you've heard of this band and you go see them and you like them. But if you get to meet them, you get to talk to them, or you get to hear them talk a little bit. I think it just kind of draws you in closer. It makes it more of a personal experience. Same way with, you may never know who is brewing the beer you drink, but you get to hear them.
Yeah, like J.D. Gins
Over at
over at Texas Beer Company. Wonderful guy, hell of a guy. If you go to Texas Beer Company, you get to meet him, maybe. But his background is fantastic. The way they got started is fantastic. It's just a great story. Shannon with the Black Sparrow Music Parlor. Dale and Waylon, who's the up and coming band. They're fantastic and they're great guys.
Yeah, and they're growing a following, and this is an opportunity for people who are starting to follow them to get up to speed.
And we're trying to. We we met so many people through this journey. It's like Steve Peters out of Temple. He is, I would say, the quintessential photographer for the Texas country music scene. He does such a wonderful job, and he's such a great guy. He's with Hello Texas. If y'all haven't checked out Hello Texas, check him out. That's him, and he does a great job. He's such a great guy. He knows all the Texas bands. He's taken the photographs. He's done the cover photos for a lot of their albums, just from their concerts. So there are people like him, like Robin. We're trying to get Robin Shane. If you don't know her music, where have you been? She's an up-and-coming country singer that's about to hit it big. Who else?
Well, not just the singers. I mean, what about Z over at Country Market?
Oh, yeah. Yes. People need to know Z.
It's if you've seen our episode, it's a gas station, but
It's 50% gas station.
Yeah.
It's 50% grocery store.
Somebody's seen it.
It's, yeah,
50% bar.
It's a wine bar. It's a craft beer bar.
It's
a gourmet
wonderful.
burger bar. But you could shop there and never see him, or see him and never talk to him. But that's somebody you want to know. That's somebody you've got a question about wine. You got to talk to Z. You got a question about a beer or a brewery. He's going to give you the unvarnished opinion
Of Z.
Oh yeah.
and it's priceless. It's absolutely priceless. People should not miss out.
Or like Matt McGinnis, who works behind the scenes to promote a lot of Texas beer and distillers. He's on the marketing side of it, so he's got a different perspective than other people do. And people don't get to know him. I mean, some people get to know him. He's got a lot of friends. It's not like he's a recluse, but
Right.
But he's got a great story and he's a great guy. There's so many people out there that we want to bring to the public, let more people know about him. So that's why we started the podcast. We also now we're trying to get somebody that's ingrained in Dave and Claire too. You can say it. You've got a microphone.
Oh my gosh, I do. It's new to me. Sorry.
Yeah.
It didn't pop
Dave
up.
and Claire Halama. They're wonderful people. We did the podcast with them. I mean, we could go on and on. We're trying to get in. I'm not going to tell Stephanie or Mike who this is. Vicky knows. Vicky and I know somebody that's ingrained in U.S. history. Like they're part of U.S. history to the point where their role is huge.
Okay.
And people don't know who this guy is. The part that he played was huge. The recognition he got to a point was really big.
Okay.
But these days people don't know him, and we're trying to get him. We know him really well.
Ooh, how fun.
Oh yeah. And we're not even, once he gets on here, y'all aren't even going to know who he is. He's just going to be this guy that's sitting in the chair and we're talking to him, and everybody's going to find out who he is at once.
And we're going to be mind blown.
Oh yes. I
Boom.
mean, that's not even, there's not even a possibility that you won't be mind blown.
Okay.
I guess you're talking about General Santa Anna.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
knew it.
Yeah. Well,
I knew
not him per se, but
Mike's long
a median.
lost uncle 3 times removed.
It's also dead. We're bringing in a median to no, we're not. But yeah, so that's where we are. So our journey has led us here where you've joined us.
I have.
Yay.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
And we've gotten the drinking scene in Texas, and not just Texas, around the country. I mean, I travel up to Oklahoma City and Nashville with work. And we go to Louisiana as well, and Las Vegas.
And we're headed to St. Louis.
We're headed to St. Louis, where I know it's not drinking Texas per se, but we got a possibility of a huge guest there too. But that's a different story. We met so many wonderful people, and I don't know about Mike, but I can say I'm really happy we started this.
I thought you were going to say gobsmacked. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I could have, but I wouldn't have known that word.
Now I have to Google it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, there you go. So on that note,
So we've got to meet people, and I think we're going to take a little break here, and when we come back, y'all are going to get to meet us.
Yay.
all right.
This is Josh from Infamous Brewing Company, and I'm drinking Texas.
Hey, we're back, and thank you for joining us. Playing with a bottle of whiskey. I don't know why. What are you doing?
I was destroying it.
Both hands.
Mike, you're the one that brought Stephanie on to the podcast, so why don't you tell us your thoughts and why?
Okay, well, when we decided to do a podcast, realized that you really kind of have to do the B Morning Zoo sort of formula if you're going to be on air. So you need a dick, you need a dork, and you need a deer. Well, we didn't have a deer. So, of course, we offered the spot to Vicky over there, but we'd already had a dork.
Gee, thanks, Mike.
So I offered it up to my wife, too, and she locked me out the house. So started thinking, who do I know that might fit that profile? Someone who's pleasant, someone who's friendly, someone who's smart, someone who's kind of easy to fool.
Naive, if you will.
We'll call it that.
So
She
rude.
is not.
Just because you write the word gullible on your ceiling doesn't mean I'm going to read it.
Did you read it, though?
I looked the first time.
Okay, then.
Continue.
Yeah, so I had known Stephanie for maybe 10 years by this time. So I gave her a call, said, we're thinking about doing and she goes, all right. I go, wait. We're thinking of doing a podcast. She's like, oh, yeah, no, that's even better. And invited her on.
So
This is true. This is true.
So how do you know Mike?
I've known Mike since, like you said, about just short of 10 years. He's an old coworker of mine, and then I had ambitions and became his boss.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I had those ambitions too.
It's
It's not as cool as it sounds.
It wasn't. That's why I left.
I believe everybody that you've worked with has become your boss.
That's a whole nother story.
That's a whole nother story and a whole nother drinking night. But yeah, so even after I had left from where we worked together, we would still do like random happy hours. And he knew really cool spots to go to. I was always down because I'm ready to drink. Let's do it. We'd try to get a group together, and it would happen every couple months or so. And then it started to dwindle down. And then he messaged me and was like, hey, got this idea. What do you think? And at first I thought he was a little creeper.
Well, which he is.
Which he is. That's okay.
Yeah, that
It's
happens.
one of
But
his-
he's harmless.
But he's a harmless creeper. Right.
Kind of that you just look outside your window, you see him there, you wave, ask him if he wants some cake.
He waves
And he's
back.
like, yeah, cake is great.
Thanks.
Yeah, but he won't.
And all your doors are locked, just to let you know.
Yeah, and he'll check the perimeter for you.
He will.
Yeah.
He will.
Many times a night, yeah.
And all
Yes.
open windows.
I'll implement.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was looking for something like a new hobby, and drinking's already one of them. Why not add talking and recording to it? So that's how I joined.
Well, I can say that I'm really happy you did. You're fun to talk to. We've got a lot. We've got a lot to teach you
Yes,
about
I need
life,
to.
just in
Oh,
general. Movies,
Yes. Oh,
alcohol.
yeah. The
beer.
list keeps growing on the movies.
Oh,
Yeah,
it does.
history.
We need to do a movie night and then movie review night.
Oh,
We
movie
need
review
to
night.
We need to record that. That'd be great.
Would be interesting.
See, we're adding more shows now.
I know.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
know. So is there anything about your background that you want people to know that they might not know?
I mean, there's nothing secret of me. I work for the government. Woohoo! And
Well, I was going farther back than just current.
Oh.
Like, do you have any? What's your favorite drink?
Oh.
Like, if you had one thing to drink, what would it be?
Well, I go through phases. For the past 2 years ish, it's been bourbons and whiskeys
Okay.
is my go-to. Makers and or Knob Creek is what I usually keep in my cupboard.
Which we'll
and-
get you past that.
And yes, hey, I've moved on from Jim Beam and Jack Daniels.
Hey,
Thank you.
First off,
Not to say it's bad.
Those aren't bad.
They're not.
I'm not.
Very
I'm not
nice
saying that they
men.
are. They're really good.
Right.
But we'll get you some.
But I need to
good-
expand.
Yes.
Which I just poured a glass of High West whiskey. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yes. Which is a double rye, and it's very good, very smooth, aka no hair on the chest. Thank you.
She waxed that. Everybody.
I did actually. You're welcome.
Yeah.
And my underarms.
Ooh, hey,
But it's nice to know someone and associate with people who know what they're talking about, who can, based off preferences that I've already told you, I like this. Do you think I will be able to try any of this other whatever it is? So it's nice to have that. So thanks, guys.
Yeah. No. Thank you for joining us. That's awesome.
Well, okay, so let's go back a little further than drinking. Anything embarrassing that we
Oh,
need to know
bless.
about you? Were you a baton twirler, track star?
I was a band nerd.
Were you? Ooh, what instrument?
Band
Please say the
nerd.
flute. Please say the flute.
No, not the
said the
flute.
flute.
Thank goodness. I
Hold
totally
on.
totally
That-
band nerd.
That would have been an American Pie reference right there.
Right there.
Go
Actually
ahead.
saw that and it was like kind of funny, but let's not talk about that.
Yeah. Well,
this is not movie review.
Yeah. Just the flute part. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I was in band. I loved marching band. I
What-
love
what
marching
instrument?
band. I started on the alto sax, and then I ended up on the baritone
That's
sax.
right.
And I love the baritone.
Do you
sax.
still have it?
No, I couldn't afford a baritone sax. I
Who
was
can?
well. I mean, now I can as an adult
Well,
because
I
I got a
mean,
job.
yeah.
But like as a high school kid, I wasn't going to make my parents, buy the one I used from the school was like $10,000.
It's ridiculous.
It was so nice.
Wait, and you can afford that?
No.
You want to
Wait,
get married?
now? I mean, I could. I'm
just kidding.
I could. Give me
I'm
a couple
already
payments.
I need a sugar mama.
Sugar mama? I Mistress Vicky.
Hey.
So speaking of Mistress Vicky, step 2 on the journey, Mistress Vicky. You started with this from the beginning. You, if people don't know this, you are my wife.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, when you claim it.
And when he keeps the payments up.
Yeah, no shit. So what have you thought about this journey? Is there anything that we left out when we were talking about it, and anything you want to add?
No, I think it's been amazing. I do remember sitting at the bar with you trying to come up with logos on bar napkins, which was kind of fun at the beginning stages.
What's the name of Copper Top. At the Copper Top. Right here in Round Rock, which is where we're from. That's where Drinking Texas is actually based out of. I remember that too. That was great. And we still do that.
Yeah, we do. Ideas, brainstorm, sitting at the bars.
We'll sit there and we'll grab napkins and ask for a pen from the waitress or the bartender and start jotting stuff down.
Nice.
People who've been following us all along might have seen Vicky on Instagram, occasionally on Facebook. Never on, once, one episode on YouTube.
Which is one of my favorite parts, by the way. It scared me and made me giggle all at the same time. It did.
A big flash in my face.
So and until now, not really on the podcast at all. So for people who are just wondering, well, who is this woman? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Pre-Chip.
Pre-Chip?
Yeah. What were you like before he ruined your life?
Happy.
Happy, go lucky, no anxiety.
that's fair.
You didn't have to worry.
That's back when I had hair.
No.
Come on, you've got a story.
Such as that you were a college softball player.
I was a college softball player. And that was kind of our common thing we had in common when we met. And I remember asking him, or he kept asking me for a date for like 2 weeks.
I don't
and
remember.
I finally said, yeah, you know what? You can go to this wedding with me.
Oh.
And so he went home with me. And
Yeah, I did.
Uh-oh.
after the wedding, it was a great time. But after the
Where'd
wedding,
I sleep?
my dad, he's the only guy that my dad ever let sleep in the same room as
But-
me
and-
at my
and-
parents' house.
And by the way, her dad was the sheriff of Washington County, which is down around Brenham, the first county within Texas, the smallest county within Texas, but still one of the best, for 20 years.
Yeah.
So when I met her, he was the sheriff of Washington County.
Well, he just knew how to hold a gun and knew where to point and shoot if you acted
so
up
did
crazy.
No idea how you
Sorry,
passed that
Dad.
muster.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, so we went to the wedding and it was a blast. And then the next
Nice.
morning we woke up and he was like, "Hey, let's go throw some." And I was like, "Bro," he's like, "Yeah, softball." And I was like, "I didn't bring my glove." He's like, "I got an extra one in the car." I was like, "Okay." So we persisted to burn each other out.
Yeah, we played Burnout. She was a college catcher and I was a college pitcher.
Oh.
We both had rockets for arms, and if you ever played against us in softball in the early years, you knew that because you didn't run on either one of us. And I don't think there was a winner on that because we both just rocketed them back and forth. It was great.
Nice.
Yeah. And then she tried to kill me.
I mean,
That's a
I don't
different
blame her.
story.
I
mean,
don't. I don't-
nobody ever
Nobody
does.
blames. Yeah.
Nobody ever does.
But those were in our early years. But I think
That's
drinking
5 years
Texas-
ago.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, 5 years ago, in my 20s. I think drinking Texas has really helped me just kind of coming out of my shell. I'm pretty introvert, and having an extrovert husband helps too sometimes. But liquid courage doesn't all, it helps too.
And also dogs.
And also
And dogs, yes.
too.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah, she's the
Bring
dog, she's
out the
dog
furry
whisperer.
friends.
Yeah.
Well, and that's actually another thing I wanted to ask because I've known you almost 15 years now. Really? Yeah, it's
Damn.
been that long.
Has it really?
It's like just
But I didn't. I've never really considered you a drinker. So what do you like? What do
So
you
in
drink?
other
What do
words, you
like?
didn't know him for 15 years. You just
No,
knew
not
of
me.
him.
I
Not
know,
me. He's
yeah,
talking
no, I'm
Vicky.
I'm talking about Vicky.
Oh, okay. We're talking about Vicky. Okay.
He's always known me as a drinker.
Okay, Vicky is the drinker.
That's
Got
why
it.
That's why we've always gotten along.
Got it. Okay.
Well, that and the sarcasm.
There's no sarcasm. So what do you
which
like?
is sarcasm.
What's your go-to? What's your drink?
Well, I think I've come a long way since what I used to drink, the old Miller Lite. But I think my palate's changed when I got into craft beer. I did drink the Pilsners and the lagers, but then I got into IPAs that I really, really enjoy. I like the more citrusy ones, more hoppy ones. But just recently, I had a friend turn me on to a couple of sours. And so now my palate is changing again. I know it sounds weird, but I don't know, there's just something about them. And I can drink them, but not drink them like super fast, and they're refreshing.
Enjoy
and-
them.
Yeah, I can enjoy them, and I feel like I can drink more of them because they're not as heavy as the IPAs.
Okay.
Or for me.
It depends on heavy versus alcohol content. That's a different story.
Yeah.
All right, enough of the day record.
I wouldn't even go in there. So, Mike, being the senior, just age-wise, member of Drinking Texas, we'll go with you next.
You're in
let's,
sexy.
Senior.
Yeah. Do you want to? Should we do you and me, or should we go to a commercial real quick?
Why don't we go to a quick break and then we'll come back and
let's refresh our drinks.
See which one of us can remember more about where we've been and what we've done.
Deal.
I know where we met.
That's so creepy.
All right, we're gonna run to a commercial. We'll be right back.
We're not on that.
Hey, this is Steve Peters.
With Hello Texas.
And I'm Drinking Texas.
We're back. Hey, we're doing a get to know you podcast for Drinking Texas. We've talked to the goddess of love, Stephanie. We've talked to Mistress Vicky, and as far as the gentlemen on this show, there are none. So let's talk to Mike and me. Mike, since you're the senior, just age-wise, member of this podcast, let's find out something about you. Let's tell us about your background, how you got into drinking. We already know the story about your first beer, but what's your favorite drink? What do people need to know about you?
Well, if you want to talk about drinking, I've been drinking for a long time, various degrees of success. When I was a young man, no.
See, I thought that's where you go.
That's where I was going. No, when I was a young man, one of my first jobs, I was a newspaper guy. I wouldn't say journalist. Let's not get crazy. But I worked at the daily newspapers from a long time ago to not so long ago. And in those days, you judge a journalist on three things: how fair they are, how many miles they logged, and how well they could drink. And I was actually pretty popular in those days. I was like a cool Hemingway. But anyway, one of my first jobs in Hollister as a sports editor, Hollister freelance in Central California.
Was that when you were 12?
This is no. I was already married.
Okay, so
after
this
that.
is back in the 40s.
In 19. Oh God, do I give the year? 1988.
They call you Newsies back then.
Oh man,
It's like in the 70s.
Let's say yes. But anyway, back in 1988, I'm working at. This is my first editorship. This is my first, not my first daily newspaper, my first editorship. They opened right across the street from our building a craft brewery, 1988. So
What was the name of this?
San Andreas.
Okay.
San Andreas
Is it still there?
Brewing. It is not.
All right.
They did a 20-year run. They closed their doors in 2008.
Aw.
They were fantastic. I walked in there. I ordered a Coors Light because that's what I had been drinking up to that point. And they said, no, we don't have that. We have this. They made an earthquake ale, and all their stuff was earthquake themed. What you might not know about Hollister is that it sits on 3 faults. It sits on the San Andreas Fault and 2 others. And there's about 1,000 earthquakes a year in that town. Little ones, but you feel them. And so it was a big earthquake theme.
We're still talking earthquakes, right?
Yeah. Okay. and so I went there every day and started drinking their ale and their pale and their IPAs. And that's kind of where it went off the rails with me. Moved back to San Diego in the early 90s, and like you, a softball player, like you, a great softball player.
Thank you.
And I got picked up to play on a fully sponsored team. And at the time, most teams in the Southern California area were being sponsored by Bud Light,
Right.
Coors Light, Miller Lite. Our team was sponsored by Stone Brewing. And at the time, the only beer they had was Arrogant Bastard.
Oh my gosh,
ale,
which is fantastic.
Which is an amazing
Oh my
ale.
gosh.
Still around.
7.2% alcohol, and all that we could drink during the tournament.
Oh, my.
So
Oh,
we
yeah.
would win.
How
2 or
did you play?
Well, really
he-
well for about the first half of the
With
day.
his hands.
We would win 2 or 3 games and then boom, lose the next 2. But it was a great sponsorship. It was a lot of fun. It was a fantastic beer. And all of that has led to where we are now.
Yeah, it's hard to
Alcoholics?
it's hard to get through a tournament, even in
God.
San Diego at 80 degrees.
If that.
Yeah, it's hard to get through a tournament drinking 7.2%
Dark ales.
dark ales.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
a light beer situation.
Yeah.
No, but we couldn't. I mean, we had to drink the beer our sponsor gave us.
But yeah, I mean that's a great sponsor.
Yeah. Oh, it was. That was one of the greatest years of my life. We never won anything.
It doesn't matter. You had a great time.
We had a great time.
That is so
Goodness.
awesome. So how did you just admitted that you're from California? And
Mm-hmm.
you're not one of the hippies from California that come down here and ruin everything for everybody.
No.
And if
He
you are
ruined
one of
things
those
long time ago.
long time
Yeah,
ago,
That was different. Actually, okay, so born and raised in California, but really a Texan by birth. My parents, my dad was from San Diego, my mom was from San Antonio, and though they stayed married their entire life, they pretty much, we spent half the time with his parents and a lot of the time with her parents. So,
Yeah.
so I grew up, most of the year in San Diego and a lot of the year in Texas. So I have the weird allegiances. It was great growing up in Southern California. It was great growing up in Central Texas. I was raised a USC Trojans fan. I was raised a Texas Longhorns fan. I still am to this day. So, the national championship game was especially great for me. There was no way to lose.
that was a great game, by the way. I believe that was voted the best college football game ever.
Might have been. And it
That went over my head, so I'm just smiling. and
It was
nodding.
the national championship that UT won against the Trojans with Vince Young as the quarterback.
Right.
They won on the
Was
last
this
drive.
recent?
Oh my gosh, 2006.
Yeah, 2006. So you'd have been like
Yeah, you were 12.
3rd grade or something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe fourth grade.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah, so I just kind of kept up the drinking the whole time, And,
Yeah.
like I explained earlier, I was drinking way before we started this.
So softball really kind of drove you to the journalism, but softball helped bring you to the craft beer phase.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And you haven't asked yet, but I'm going to tell you that softball actually brought me to the craft beer phase as well. Completely different journey though. Me and a buddy of mine, and I'm not going to mention his name. He's you know him. He's from Arkansas. Great guy. Love the guy. Haven't talked to him enough lately. Need to talk to him some more.
Maybe toasting.
Maybe toast him. We can't do that on here because the F word is not. We're not going to use that this time. But we would go to softball tournaments and we would bring Bud Light. We'd bring a case of Bud Light because we knew we could drink that. We'd be fine. Everybody would start drinking our Bud Light. So then we started bringing Lone Star. Love Lone Star. Nobody would drink it at the time. This was back before it became popular again. And then people started drinking Lone Star. Then we started making craft beers. Nobody would drink the craft beers because they didn't know what they were or how bad they would mess them up. And really never turned back. Now I'd still love a good Lone Star. I still will drink a good cold Bud Light.
What about a Zima? Will you drink a Zima?
No, but my dad loves them.
Okay.
especially with a
Umbrella.
Well, I was going to say a Jolly Rancher,
Rancher.
but
Jolly Rancher.
you throw an umbrella on there, and he's in love.
What about High Life?
I'll drink an ice cold High Life. I don't mind. I will drink most beers. There's 2 beers. There's 1 beer that I will sit down and walk away from, and I've got no apologies about it. And I don't care if they're listening. I don't care. Better. Stella Artois.
Oh, Stella.
Oh, I cannot stand it.
Interesting.
Skunk.
Yeah, it's like a skunk shit on another skunk.
Oh my gosh.
And then they
combed
put it
into
in
the
then they put it into a bottle and said, "Here, we're going to call it." I think that's what it actually means. Is Stella Artois is whatever Belgium for skunk shitting on another skunk, because it is, to me, it's just horrible. Now, some people love it clearly because it's one of the most popular beers in the world. I just do not have a taste for it.
Served in a fancy glass.
It's no. It's the yeast they use is bizarre, and they're the only ones that use it. Heineken's similar; they use a different yeast.
So
I like
also
Heineken.
part of the reason is because they're in the green glasses, and the sun will skunk the beer. So that's the reason a lot of craft beers have gone to cans and darker bottles, because the sun cannot get in there and mess with the flavor.
But with the green glass, they can.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so Vicky mentioned that I'm a extrovert, which now I am. Growing up, I was not. And parents, I'm going to tell you a couple things that you can do to your kids to help.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bring them out of their
to help
shells.
bring them out of their
I
shell.
don't think this works for women.
It might not work for women, but it does for boys. It's a sink or swim type of thing.
Okay.
When your kids anymore, it's not popular. Just throw your kids in the water and they're either going to swim or they're going to sink there if you ever do that, so they don't drown. But still, my dad had a great sense of humor. My best friend had a great sense of humor. My uncle had a great sense of humor. All of them were extroverts. I was an introvert. I kind of kept to myself. I had a select group of friends. I didn't talk to a whole lot of people. My dad, after high school football games, I was always a popular kid. I didn't feel like a popular kid, right? My dad, after football games, would drive up next to a bunch of cute girls, lock the windows, roll my window down, and say, "Chip, you wanted me to stop?" And the girls would look in and go, "Hey, how you doing?" And I would either have to talk to them or roll up in an ass ball and cry.
How many times did you cry the first time?
Never.
Don't lie.
Never.
Nice. Stepped up to the challenge.
Now, I the first time I didn't exactly talk to them.
Just smiled really big.
Smiled, go, "What the hell are you doing?" "Hey, how are you? Drive off, asshole." And he did, laughing the whole way. He did that a couple times. The second, third time, I was like, "How you doing?" My best friend, Sean, God rest his soul, he's no longer with us, but we would be in Whataburger, 2 o'clock in the morning after drinking all night. This is 16, 17. I think the statute of limitations are over on that.
Probably okay.
Yeah, by the way, we do not encourage underage drinking, but you know,
those were different times.
yeah, those were completely different times. A cute girl would walk in. I'd make the mistake of saying, "Sean, that girl's really cute. I've had a crush on her for a while." And he would stand up and go, "That girl, Chip? That girl? Right there?" Where, again, sink or swim.
Ass ball
It's
or
either
talk.
ass ball or talk. And at that point, it was ass ball. But I mean, it
And thus, the chip we have today.
Thus Big Chip right here. I put myself into, and this is also for people that are a little shy. And hopefully, Mistress Vicky will concur with this. Put yourself in weird situations. I used to, when I was working out at the YMCA, I would jump into the aerobics class with all women. Yes, I do enjoy women, but that's not why. It's because that is the weirdest situation. If you're used to lifting heavy weights and you jump into a aerobics class, they will welcome you with open arms. But holy crap, that is weird. Jump up in front of, be the first person to speak in class, because you're going to learn to get over that shyness, over that weirdness.
So true.
But man, it's helped me tremendously in life getting over that hump.
It's huge for your actual professional career as a carnival barker.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Nice.
can get people up to the Ferris wheel all day long, no matter how many times it's broken. Mike, speaking of carnival barkers,
I didn't say carnival.
Carnival.
There you go.
Like the cruise ship, Barker. He can guess people's weight within 10 pounds.
No, he can't.
Bullshit.
Wait, 10 pounds?
Yes, he can.
This is actually kind of a weird ability, and it's okay. Started from a joke, but
Okay.
okay. So,
But it's a fact.
Okay, guess. Okay, guess. Let's guess
so
mine.
you know my current job.
Yes,
Which
okay.
we cannot say on here, but if you're in Taylor, you know who he is.
Yeah, one of the things that I've got to know is what you weigh, and most people won't. I just can appraise.
Mm-hmm.
I can usually 11 times out of 10 picture somebody naked, and, and
Whether you want to or not.
As
whether I want to or not.
hold on,
I'm not
as the
saying
god,
this
as,
like
as the goddess of love just covered up.
she totally did.
She just covered up.
She absolutely covered up. I'm not saying I do this for fun. It's a curse. It's a curse. You've been on
Trust
the
me, I
streets.
used to work where he works.
Yeah.
That is a curse.
Trust me, I do this for fun.
But I don't know what it is. I can look at somebody. I know what I weigh. I know what few other people weigh.
You know what I weigh?
I know what you weigh. I know what you weigh. And even though you thought I didn't,
Never mind, don't
I'm
guess.
usually right. So I'll write
Because I
something down.
told you what I weighed.
I'll write. Right.
No, seriously, he did.
So I'll just write something down, and if people ask, I'll tell them, and they can argue. But really, they're like, "Oh yeah, no, that's right. I know." If I ever get fired from this job, I can get a job at a carnival.
He will not lose
and
any
guess
of the.
your weight.
Nice.
And you give me a range, whatever it is, 5 pounds.
He will not
giving away
lose any of those
prizes.
baby stuffed animals.
That's
I am
interesting.
not going to give away any
Oh,
of
yeah.
those prizes. It's one of my favorite Larry the Cable Guy jokes. He when he says it, he used to work at a carnival guessing people's weights, and if you got it wrong, whatever, you'd get a keychain or a stuffed animal or something. He says, but mine was different because he says I could guess anybody's weight just by feeling their boobs, and so I'd say, well, let's see, 210. She'd be like, no, all right, here's your keychain.
Nice.
So Mike mentioned that we've known each other for about 15 years, roughly 15 years.
No, just about.
Well, we won't get into the story how we first met, but we met through a buddy.
Yep.
Which again, God rest his soul. He's no longer with us. Great friend, great guy,
Great drinker.
great drinker. I always wanted to. Me and the other buddy that I played softball with always had this argument on whether we could kill a keg in a night.
Oh, no.
Oh,
A full-size kid.
I
full
thought it
size
was like a 24-hour.
well, a 24-hour period. Then we decided 2 of us probably couldn't.
Okay.
So, and this is before I knew Mike. Kendall. Well, we can mention Kendall's name. He's not going to argue. He's dead. But and first off, we love Kendall. But in I don't mean to make light of that. But we thought we could bring Kendall in.
Okay.
Because Kendall used to drink a lot. I mean, a lot. And we thought, we did the math. Like, okay, 48-hour period, 3 of us, probably. 24-hour period, 4 of us, probably. So we asked Kendall, do you know anybody? He goes, yes.
Oh.
Mike. No shit.
Okay.
He goes, I've got a buddy. He you kind of know him from softball. You kind of don't. But I guarantee the 4 of us, we bring in snacks. We eat all day. We drink all day, all night. We can do this. He never did, but knowing
you're
you
saying-
and knowing you and you knowing me, we'd have killed it.
yeah.
It would have been easy.
It would have been easy.
With the 4 of us? Yeah, oh yeah.
Interesting.
A full-size keg of like Bud Light, no problem.
Say we find a 4th and y'all do it.
Oh, that's what I'm
Well,
thinking.
well,
And we
What?
broadcast it.
Oh, my.
The other
Like all day.
Two of the people, one is no longer with us, the other doesn't drink anymore.
Well, you know, find 2 new ones.
However, if we did get him drinking, he could do it. No, but that would be a horrible idea. He doesn't drink.
we
He
won't do
does
that.
not drink anymore, and it's bad when he does drink. So,
Okay.
but I mean, we could-
Future challenge.
Plus, I'm not really a sprinter anymore.
No.
I'm more of a marathoner.
yeah.
So,
I mean, 24 hours.
For a full keg.
That's a sprint.
Do you know?
Oh,
do you know
I
how
don't,
many?
I don't know.
It's
No, it's big
168
and heavy. That's what she said.
168. Yeah, 168
168.
pints, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot
Pints.
because the keg we
Oh.
had there were 70 beers approximately.
Yeah, I think it's 100. I think it's 170, 180, 100 somewhere
Oh,
around there.
Jesus.
That's a lot.
Pints.
27 ounces. 2,700 ounces
Yeah.
I don't.
of beer.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
it's- Oh yeah.
Oh,
So-
I've been watching how much water I drink. That's a lot.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, that's a lot of
beer's
water.
easier than
Beer's-
water.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot.
We should so do it. Maybe get 2 teams of 4, and then we do little updates for the
Others
day.
doing better.
Yeah, and let y'all talk.
I don't know. That's a
I think
lot
it
of.
would be
That's a lot
great.
of
I think it'd be fun.
Would be a lot of drinking.
The only way we would do that is if we did it for charity.
Ooh, we could do that and take donations.
Yeah,
That's
if
a
we
great idea.
did that and did donations, I'd be in.
Oh, I thought you were talking about charity. You mean charity?
No, not the stripper.
No, not
I mean,
her.
she's really cool. And
She's very nice.
if she was there,
I'd
it
do
would
it
help.
for her.
Yeah, you would.
It's encouraging.
But yeah, so Mike and I, we've known each other through softball. We used to both be really good softball players. We're both really old now. Our
yeah.
bodies have kind of get. But anybody out there that wants to go hit for hit, as long as I don't have to field, let's go. I will hit against anybody. That's no bullshit. I will hit with you all day long. But now you know the kind of the background of Drinking Texas. Vicky was born in Washington County. Well, no, you were born in Houston actually.
Born in Houston.
Yeah.
But she was immediately traded for a future draft pick.
Yeah, a left-hander
Gotcha.
And a bag of baseballs.
Yeah, case balls. I grew up in Irving, about 10 miles from Texas Stadium.
You know, not as Jewish as it sounds.
Yeah, it wasn't at all. Where, Stephanie?
I was actually born in the Philippines.
There you go.
Born in the Philippines. Dad was Air Force, so we went travel. Eventually ended up in Austin when I was about 4 or 5,
Oh, nice.
and then been here ever since. So about 5 years.
Yeah. Mike, clearly out in California.
Yeah.
Well, you were born in. Were you born in San
Born in
Antonio?
San Diego. No, San Antonio.
No, San Diego.
Okay,
You were born in San Diego.
Moved to Laredo.
Oh,
moved
okay.
Back to California. Then back to here.
A lot of
Back to-
hopping around.
back to down
Gotcha.
So there's from all over the place for people have come together as a family to provide you Drinking Texas. So we hope you enjoyed this.
We hope you stick around with us.
Because we've got a lot more to come.
Oh yeah.
We've got some great stuff coming up.
Oh, there's a thought. You know, we talked a little bit about who we are and what we do.
Did you hear that was a beautiful ending to this?
Almost.
And you just ruined it all. That was poetic. Is what that was.
Postscript.
No, that was poetic.
Postscript.
And you just ruined it.
You don't know what a
Chip, let him
postscript
talk.
is.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, now I've got to reload. All right, so you've learned a little bit about us and what we do and who we are. And if you've got any questions maybe about Vicky, tell them where they can send those or get a hold of us or just follow us.
You can follow us at our website, www.drinkingtx.com, or Instagram at drinkingtx, Twitter, Drinking Texas 1, or Facebook at Drinking Texas, or our YouTube channel, Drinking Texas TV. You can also find our podcast there.
Also, if you see us out and about, come say hi. We'd love to see everybody. We want to have a drink with you. We want to get to know you. We want y'all to get to know us. So don't be shy. Get out of if you are shy, get out of that shyness box. Come over and say hi to us. We'd love to meet you.
Oh, absolutely.
Stephanie, words of wisdom before we leave.
Here you go, bitches.
Yeah.
There you go.
Little bit of drink, little bit of smoke, little bit of dance around that dance floor, little bit of loud, little bit of fun, little bit of let's go tear shit up.